Are the Soundpeats H1 True Wireless Earbuds everything they've been hyped up to be? Are they worth the upgrade over the TrueEngine 3? Well, stay tuned as I'll be rating the H1s out of 10 in 6 key areas, from battery life to fit, sound quality and everything else in between. Soundpeats sent these in for my zero filter honest opinion, so that's exactly what I'm going to give you guys today. Okay, let's get stuck in. The H1s are currently only available through Kickstarter, but the good news is that Soundpeats have already obliterated their goal, meaning that the H1s will be shipped in December this year. Fortunately,
yeah, we've got one
ready for review right now, so here's a few reasons why you should give a damn about them. Bluetooth 5.2, aptX adaptive codec, more on that later, wireless charging and USB-C charging as well, and IPX5 waterproof rating, touch controls, all at just $80. Stay tuned for my take on sound quality, because trust me, you need to hear this. When it comes to build quality and design, we're getting a near identical experience to the TrueEngine 3s. So that's the exact same size and build quality, though with a slightly revamped design like the metallic finish on the lid of the case. The buds also continue that metallic finish, ditching the raised copper shield of the TrueEngine 3s, giving them more of a cleaner, unassuming look. I'm going to drop an 8 out of 10 here for build and design, the exact same score I gave the TrueEngine 3s, as very little has changed. Believe it or not, the H1s push out up to 10 hours of non-stop playback in a single sitting, and 40 hours overall when you factor in that charging case. So that's an instant 9 out of 10 for battery life from me, easily bettering the TrueEngine 3s and nearly all other buds at this price point. But here's my personal sticking point: fit and comfort. Surprise, surprise. The only thing I really disliked about the TrueEngine 3s were the shape of the buds. They just didn't suit the shape of my ears, and they didn't fit securely at all. And unfortunately for me, the H1s are identical. As you can see in this shot, they sit almost completely out of my ears, and yep, you can still see a noticeable gap between the body of each bud and my ear. So that's going to be a 6 out of 10 for comfort and fit. Once again, the same score I gave the TrueEngine 3s, as nothing was changed or improved here. I will caveat this score with a quick reminder that everyone's ears are different. Fit is subjective, but the H1s could desperately use some wingtips in my opinion. It's time for another mic test, Jim's review room style. So how does my voice sound over this background noise? We've got a few cars going past. It's fairly noisy, not too noisy. I have a feeling my voice is going to sound pretty quiet on these because they did on the TrueEngine 3s, but wait for my take as we get back to the studio, which we are going to do right about now. Though Clear Voice Capture 8 does a great job when it comes to reducing background noise, just like with the TrueEngine 3s, the initial mic quality is rather average and much quieter than other options out there. So it's going to be a 7 out of 10 for mic quality, not surprisingly. Once again, the same I gave the TrueEngine 3s. We're not seeing a lot of improvement here so far, but stay tuned because it's coming up next. Brace yourself, because there is a lot to get excited about in terms of functionality and usability. The H1s are the first pair of true wireless earbuds I've tested to have Bluetooth 5.2 for starters. Without delving into all the boring stuff that you probably don't care about, 5.2 essentially means a stronger, more stable connection overall, and crucially, more efficient power consumption. We've got the support of aptX Adaptive here too, a codec usually reserved for high-end headphones until now. It's essentially a combination of aptX, aptX HD and aptX Low Latency. Adaptive automatically toggles between aptX and aptX HD depending on what you're listening to. So if your music files are of an average quality, for example, say when you're streaming, it won't waste bandwidth by transmitting those files in aptX HD, which only wastes your battery life. It'll also scale down the audio codec when you're too far away from your device, giving you the strongest possible connection when the audio would otherwise start cutting out entirely. Best of all, it does this with extremely low latency, resulting in the least audio-visual lag possible, as long as your device supports aptX in the first place. Sorry, iPhone users. That's me. Thanks to these advancements, the H1s now also incorporate a lag-free gaming mode, which you can toggle with a double tap on the left earbud. Of course, it will drain your battery a little bit faster, so use it sparingly. The audiovisual lag when gaming is already stupidly minimal, and with gaming mode on, it's next to non-existent. I'd personally like to see it toggle itself on and off automatically, but hey, that might just be me. Rather thankfully, you can also increase and lower the volume using the touch controls too, which isn't always a given in budget earbuds. Can't forget to say, we've got wireless charging here, another nice upgrade from the TrueEngine 3s. But you also need to bear in mind that you still have to manually disconnect from one device before you can connect to another, the same as with 99% of all budget true wireless earbuds. So I'm going to drop a 9 out of 10 for functionality purely because the tech in these buds is pretty crazy and ahead of its time, making the H1s amazing value for money just on functionality alone. I wanted to drop a 10 out of 10 if I'm honest, but the closer we get to the $100 price point, the more I'm expecting to see a companion app with custom equalizer settings or presets at the very least. Otherwise, the H1s are truly one of a kind at present and the only Bluetooth buds that I would personally recommend for any kind of smartphone gaming. Before we talk sound quality, please go follow me on my personal Instagram or Twitter. I'm going to start doing regular Q&As because you guys have a lot of questions for me that I can't always get around to answering. So I'm going to do a Q&A answering any questions you guys might have about the products I review, whether this one's better than this one, etc. So check the links in the description below for that. Don't forget to comment below what I should review next as well, because the comments with the most likes will definitely be added to my review hit list. Okay, sound quality. Thanks to the combo of the Knowles balanced armature driver and an 8.6mm dynamic driver, audio quality is way superior than anything even remotely close to this price point. So, yet again, it's good news for bass heads out there. The H1s still pack a bass boosted sound signature, just like the TrueEngine 3s. However, the bump in overall fidelity is instantly noticeable across the board. For starters, the bass is just as punchy, but more defined with superior clarity and a great casual listening experience. I know it may not be as exciting as punchy bass, but seriously, the mid-range is vastly improved, meaning vocals aren't so recessed and top-heavy on treble compared to their predecessor. Highs also no longer suffer the issue where they'd cycle between being brash and piercing on one track or entirely underemphasized and quiet on another. And that was the case with the TrueEngine 3s. Instead, the high range captures more detail, giving the H1s a fuller, more rounded sound. Plus, they maintain improved clarity at higher volumes too. Soundstage undoubtedly sounds wider than on the TrueEngine 3s with a much better separation of instruments, trust me. Take one listen and you'll notice immediately. And they also have the ability to take on multi-layered, more musically intensive tracks far better than anything else I've heard under $100. For me, the H1s earn a well-deserved 10 out of 10 for sound quality, making the H1s the best sounding buds under $100 that I've ever heard. Of course, that doesn't mean that they sound better than a pair of $200, $300 buds. So bear in mind that my score is relative to the price that you're paying for these. The only reason not to like the sound on the H1s is if you're searching for buds with a more neutral sound signature, which is unfortunately still very rare in budget buds. Overall, the Soundpeats H1 scored a 49 out of 60, which is an 8.2 out of 10 overall. One of the highest scores I've actually ever given out here on the channel. The pros are some of the best codec support for low latency I've seen in buds of any price, including a low latency gaming mode, insane battery life, and exceptional sound quality. The cons are a poor fit for me personally, and a slightly below average mic quality. The exact same two cons as I had with the TrueEngine 3. To me, these are undoubtedly worth the upgrade over the TrueEngine 3s, and if those fit securely in your ears, then there's very little reason to not upgrade here. But for me, the H1s only hammer home that a secure fit is equally as important as sound quality, because sadly, despite the H1's amazing features and sound, I just won't be using them half as often as I'd like to, as they just don't fit in my ears properly. If you haven't already, you definitely need to check out my 5 best budget true wireless earbuds video by clicking here, under $50. No Kickstarter required for these, you can just buy them. Or you can check out my cheap true wireless earbuds playlist by clicking here and assess all the other options I've reviewed recently. So pick one of those and I'll see you in the next video.